in the Garden of Eden, we understood the sin of pride was a bad thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got it. Bad thing. Fast forward 1700s, there was a lot of talk about vainglory, which also comes out of Galatians 5:22-23. Right after the fruit of the Spirit, we all know, but right after that, there's another little verse that talks about we should not be envious. We should not seek after vainglory, which only causes us dissension between each other. Vainglory. But we still understood vanity, glory of self, that's a bad thing. Oh, but it was finally reframed in the 40s and brought to all of us outside of the psychiatric and psychological circles by none other than Carl Rogers, who was the grandfather of humanism. Now, we should have understood as a Christian, there's a red flag here.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we going to embrace something, a new philosophy, which is all that self-esteem ever was? Why should we embrace something that's coming out of the mouth of the grandfather of humanism, but we didn't pay attention? Instead, we fell for it because it sounded so good. And so for the last 60 years now, we have been totally obsessed with the building of self-esteem, which, if you think about it, the clearest definition of self-esteem is esteeming self, right?
Yeah.
Well, look where it's gotten us. It promised us in the beginning, this will lower crime. This will cause us to have a less violent society. This will make us more generous. This will make us less selfish. And of course, we've become all of those negative aspects and even so much more. And the entitlement issues, all of the things that we're dealing with today, I'm going to take you right back to the fact that we fell for a bald-faced lie, and that was that we needed self-esteem. And yet all of the curricula that's out there in the character development area, they're still espousing to build a child's self-esteem. And I can give you a quick metaphor for this, because people love this metaphor, the mirror or the window. So think of a mirror. When a child holds a mirror in front of their face, who do you see?
See
Yourself,
the child? Yep.
right?
Yep.
You only see yourself. Your child can't see anyone in front of them because they can't see through the mirror, right? Neither can they see anyone looking at them through the mirror of self-esteem. So in the mirror, in the mirror of self-esteem, children can't see anyone looking at them, and we wonder why they're doing these horrific things they're doing today. They're screaming at us, why can't you see the real me? Because they can't see us looking at them through the mirror. Now, another interesting piece that happens in the mirror of self-esteem, children can see themselves. They can't see in front of them, but they can see a reflection of their past. You can see behind you in the mirror, what's behind you. So a child's present circumstance is nothing more than a reflection of the past. So for a child who's come from very difficult circumstances, a child who's come from a family that hasn't found their way out of trouble yet, they can't even see that there's a possibility for them that they could be. And the longer you look in the mirror, the worse things look, right?
Sure.
You see every flaw and every problem. So in the mirror of self-esteem, the longer we hold a child in the mirror of self-esteem, and children don't pick it up, an adult puts the mirror of self-esteem in their hands, the longer they look in the mirror, either they become self-conceited, it's all about me, or they become self-conscious, and they fall into every bad aspect of life and living that we so desperately want to keep them away from. They fall into all of it because we're just driving them deeper and deeper into themselves where there are no answers to be found. So the contrast to that is put the mirror of self-esteem down and instead take children to the window. At the window of self-respect, when you look out a window, you catch a glimpse of yourself, right? There's a reflection of yourself.
Yeah.
But at the window, now you see immediately through yourself, beyond yourself. So that child catches their glimpse, but now they're seeing the world. They see that there's a place in the world God has planned for them. They can see others. They can see the needs of others. They can see how they fit in. And everything that's behind them quickly dissipates at the window. So now their present circumstance becomes a reflection of their future. And most importantly, at the window, they can see God, and they can see God looking at them. In the mirror, they can't see God because they only see themselves, and they can't see God looking at them.